You know what? The land can really change over the course of 150 years. Or more. I'd say more. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with Native American Heritage Month 2025. This is my in-between series between haunt season, which just now happened, and Christmas staycation. But for the month of November, since it is Native American Heritage Month, I like to take the time to show reverence, respect, and shedding light on Native American heritage site or Native American historical sites, and just talking about the amazing history of the people who came before, the people who are still around to this day, like the Cherokee Nation, the Creek, the Seminole, and all the Western tribes like the Apache and so on and so forth. But really, I like to show the historic sites because it is an amazing history. And anyway, guys, that's why we're here at our first spot today. What you all see here is a shopping center. To be more specific, it is Farmland Corner. But before it was Farmland Corner, it's maybe about 150, 160 years ago, this used to be a farm. And this farm, the man who owned it, his name was Chief Jack Walker Jr. Anyway, he was the grandson of Nancy Ward, the beloved woman of the Cherokee Nation, and his grandfather, and his father was John Major Ridge Sr. Anyway, before all of this was Bradley County, this was the town of Amoy. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Amoy, which Cherokee Nation. It was one of the 8 districts. But anyway, guys, this is the house that once stood here. That is the last photo that was taken while the Chief Jack Walker Jr. house was being dismantled. And on the property was his grave and a few of his family members. But as you all see, there's no grave markings, and we're about to talk about that here in a minute. But before we talk about that and that interesting history, let's talk about Chief Jack Walker Jr., which he doesn't have the junior on his historical marker. Here stood on the home of John Walker Jr., known as Chief Jack, a grandson of Nancy Ward. He was prominent in the affairs of the Cherokee Nation, belonging to the party advocating a voluntary treaty of removal to the Cherokees to the west. His murder by James Foreman in 1834 resulted in one of the most famous criminal trials of early Tennessee history. He married Emily Meggs, granddaughter of returned Jonathan Meggs. He is buried here, and quite literally, he's only buried like maybe not even 100 feet, or what people believe for the most part. Now, contrary to belief, Chief Jack Walker was not a chief, but how he got that acclaim, or that moniker, I guess you could say, is he was very prominent, as the historical sign said, and he was also grandson of Nancy Ward. However, there was a big reason why a majority of the Cherokee Nation at the time despised him, and that was, of course, he wanted to move out west. He wanted a voluntary removal, and this was very, very disliked amongst the Cherokee people here in the Cherokee Nation. In fact, what really made a lot of Cherokee people angry is he made an unsolicited trip a few years before up to Washington to advocate for the removal of the Cherokee. He, as it said, he was a very prominent member of the Cherokee Nation. He actually got his education in New Jersey. But probably about maybe 10-20 miles from here, going off Blue Springs Road, attaching to Red Clay, one night, while Chief Jack Walker was making his way from Red Clay back to his home here at what is now a shopping center, Jim Foreman and another gentleman, members of the Cherokee Nation, they shot him. Now, Jack Walker, being the strong man that he was, got back on his horse, came back to his property, and he died about 2 weeks later. I saw some sources say he died 11 days later. One source said 19 days later. But so the general consensus was about 2 weeks. But anyway, he died. He was buried here on his property. His friend who was with him at the time saw what happened, and he reported James Foreman and the other Springston, or the man's last name was Springston. But anyway, James Foreman, he said if there was a crime at all, he did not commit it, since it was committed by 2 members of the Cherokee Nation, and the Cherokee Nation would have to, as I was saying, since the Cherokee people did not like James Foreman, they probably wouldn't have done anything to him. Now, this court case what happened in McMinn County in 1834, and at the time the McMinn County courts, they turned around and said since these men were members of the Cherokee Nation, they could not have a trial for them, since they were sovereign citizens, I guess you could say, of another country. However, the Tennessee State Supreme Court, they reversed this decision, and James Foreman and the other man, who really didn't take too much part of the murder, they practically went free. The case was dropped and abandoned when the Treaty of Neochota was signed, and anyway, you had 20-30,000 men and women marched from their homes. My goodness, it is a loud day today. But now, since you know the history of Chief Jack Walker and that famous or infamous criminal case that that involved the Cherokee Nation and the United States, we'll go back to some more of the more morbid facts behind it all. You see, Chief Jack Walker's grave, it was marked for a very long time. And when the state of Tennessee, or maybe I guess you could say Bradley County, when they widened North Lee, they gave him another marker, but over time this marker was lost, and so with that, well, people lost fact or where exactly Chief Jack Walker is buried. But there is some light that can be shed on that, and more than likely he's buried somewhere in here. There was a woman, anyway, I guess to explain, there was a gentleman who knew the story of Chief Jack Walker. In telling her the story, she brought out some divining rods, and the moment that they stepped off, like on property like this, they stumbled across, or where the rods crossed, and that usually is a sign where a body is buried. However, when they did this, they also found 3 other bodies, so it may have been Chief Jack Walker's whole family. But wouldn't it be nice, since people have a general idea where it's at, to give Chief Jack Walker a new headstone, or even the family that they believe they've found? I mean, yes, he was infamous to the Cherokee Nation, but I don't know, just knowing that a man has an unmarked grave somewhere around in here, it makes me a little bit sad. But anyway, guys, this is my quick video for Native American Heritage Month 2025. Kind of covered it before, but I wanted to show you all where the house once stood, which was right around in here. And from what people can gather, more than likely this is probably where, or at least in my opinion, where Chief Jack Walker is buried. Anyway, guys, this is going to be another vlog for another day. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Always means a lot. Goes to show that you all care. Always seems when I talk, there's always noise. Anyway, guys, remember, make sure to like and subscribe. Always means a lot. Goes to show that you all care. Means a lot. See y'all in the next one. Peace.